We do indeed. Here's a question for you. What are the very best recipes of the past century? If not the best, then at least the ones that changed the way we cook the most and that are still bringing people together today? And I should add, will you be making them for your family holiday meal this season? You should. Dan Coyce, a writer for Slate.com, is going to answer all these questions for us in the form of a list, the 25 most important recipes of the past 100 years. Dishes that, quote, profoundly and deliciously changed the way Americans eat. As he and his co-author put it, these dishes include Caesar salad, chicken and waffles, green bean casserole, and gochujang caramel cookies from Eric Kim of the New York Times. Happy to say that Dan Coyce and recipe legend Eric Kim join us now only on CBS Mornings. Eric, I'm serious. I mean, Dan put together this list with his colleagues. Talk about how you put this together and how meaningful it is to be part of it.
I know, Eric. You, Julia Child, Ina Garten, the big three.
Seriously, seriously.
I was so honored, but honestly, I think as someone who is intellectually interested in recipes and I've been doing it for a career for a while, I just thought the article is amazing, so much research. And I think my whole point about recipes is people don't understand that there are people behind them who create them. And it's a job that exists called recipe developer now, but it used to be called home economist. And the foods we eat now, there's a reason we eat them.
I love that.
We wanted to make this list to explore those people, the people who made the recipes and how the recipes get written, but also then to see how they land with the people who cook them, right? I'm not a chef, I'm not a recipe developer. I'm a guy who likes to cook for my family at home. And so I'm really interested in how all these different foods sort of made their way into my kitchen and into my cooking repertoire. Things like the Caesar salad, which it turns out is only 100 years old. It was invented in 1924 by a guy named Caesar.
A guy named Caesar, yeah.
Yeah, all the way up to, Eric's cookies or Logan's cucumbers, the TikTok craze from this summer that caused my local grocery store to run out of cucumbers.
No.
Yeah.
Which I reported on, actually.
Yeah.
What was the special thing about the cucumbers?
It was that he is a very telegenic guy on TikTok who shakes all the cucumbers in a takeout container and says shake, shake, shake. And people got very excited about it and it caused a cucumber shortage.
It was also just the perfect formula for like TikTok virality.
Yes.
The formula of adding the cucumbers to the container, and then he made those containers also sell out, I think. When you see
a
the
little
market,
bit of MSG, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was making them in my kitchen and my teenage daughter walked in and was like, oh, you're making the cucumbers.
No.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, I'm cool. I know.
For one brief moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do we have here?
Yeah, because I'm getting the aroma.
Yeah.
Here we have Eric's gochujang caramel cookies, a recipe he developed in 2022. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
And we put this on the list because the list starts very early in the list is the classic chocolate chip cookie, the Toll House cookie. And then late in the list is this cookie, which we thought really represents the way that global ingredients and global techniques have come into American mainstream cooking, but not only in sort of traditional ways, in fun and playful ways. We really like to think of Eric as like a multi-culti cookie master, someone who takes an ingredient, a savory ingredient like gochujang, a Korean chili paste, and introduces it into a snickerdoodle for something that's totally fun and delicious.
Oh, interesting.
Thank you.
Look at this nice singe on the back.
Now, I noticed you took Eric's professional cookie
I
first.
wanted to start with hers.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And then compare to yours.
the flavor will be there. For me, developing this cookie was kind of just part of this long continuation of turning Korean pantry ingredients into American classics, because I wanted to show people that it's not the food that has to be different, but if you just switch out one or two pantry ingredients, you can have something like this. Kind of tastes like a snickerdoodle, right? It's
But then it's got a
familiar.
burn.
A little bit of a
It just
I'm in the burn
continues.
right now. I'm in the
A
burn.
little chili.
Your
good.
cookbook, Korean American, it talks about you innovate off of things that your mom used to
Yeah.
cook, right? And you went back and lived with her while you were developing it. What does she think of these cookies?
She loves them.
Yeah?
She thinks they're, when I went back home, it was the pandemic, and I had her pantry at my disposal, so I used those ingredients to cook. And I think it was maybe that time in my life I was working with the gochujang, and I think the one thing about gochujang is you want to cut it with other ingredients. That's how Koreans use it. It's a base, and it's a base of cooking, kind of like a sofrito. So in that way, you can add brown sugar to turn it into more of like a desserty situation. You can add butter to it to make noodles. My editor, Genevieve Ko, greenlit this cookie, 2 years ago, and we didn't know it would become like this. This is definitely the most viral recipe I've ever created. And you can tell because I get tagged on Instagram every single day.
Wow.
Oh,
For the last couple of years, yeah. And you also know because the market sort of shifts. When I developed my cookbook, Korean American, I had to go to the Korean grocery store to find gochujang. 2 years later, I was able to go to my local, 5 minutes down the line.
You may have been part of that.
You got some integrity
Amazing.
problems on your cookie.
Buddy, I made those cookies 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still good.
Brought them up on the Amtrak.
Dan
Nice.
Kois, Eric Kim,
you.
big fans of both your work. Thank you very
Same.
much for being here. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. To see all of the 25 most important recipes of the past 100 years, visit slate.com. Eric Kim's caramel cookie recipe is available on New York Times Cooking.